Alrighty, we are on Act 9 now, so where we're going to exit for this area is actually just go straight up, and we're going to exit at the top over here. So in this act we've got one trial and a couple of quests to do to get some extra skill points. First thing we're going to do is go from the top right to the top right again. I don't have to kill every single enemy. Because we're level 64 and the enemies are 61, so we're kind of a little bit ahead. And we're going to go down to the right, usually from the descent to the next area. Looks like we're going to go left now. Okay. I guess it's okay, now is it down right again? Sometimes they like move around certain areas. They did it on the expedition where they moved around the map a little bit, but most of the maps are relatively similar on the campaign. The end game it could be a little bit different. Alright, so once we have the corrupted blood, we're going to activate our flask for remove. Those things will follow you for a long time. Woo! Level up. Okay. Next zone. So what we're going to be looking for over here is this storm area. Let's see if we can find it. It's like a little small mini tornado. Yeah, here it is. So when we're in the Vastry Desert, we're going to click on the Storm Weathered Chest. We're going to defeat some mummies. We're here for a quest. Yes.
Good.
The Storm Blade. So we'll deliver the blade later. There's actually another area. We can just go turn this in real quick because I can clean up my inventory too. Take this over here.
You did it.
Oh, we did it. Okay, this one will give us a chromatic orb.
See.
Yes.
Alright.
Oh.
So now we're gonna go back to where we were, or go back to the desert. You don't need the previous waypoint from where we came. But, okay, we have another skill point. So we were still working on our spell suppression last time, so finish that off. So you see this area is blocked. But we will be coming back to that area later. There is like a boss that you can kill. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to give us something super important, but we can find it over here.
I'm not up to that yet.
It's not bad. So from the foothills, we're going to go to the Boiling Lake. We're going to look for the Basilisk. So this boss actually has a unique mechanic where if you see it holding still, you want to not look at him. Oh, come on, Tujin. Let's go ahead. So we'll skip it. We'll just rush straight towards the end. It's actually a pretty fast act. And then we'll be at the end game very soon, which makes me excited because I enjoy the end game a lot more. Most people only really enjoy the end game for PoE, unless it's your first time. So you can see this elite over here. So don't look at it. It will turn you into stone. It's kind of like Medusa. So we're going to get the Basilisk Acid. And we're just going to go back because it's faster this way. I'm going to go right back to the foothills, which is the waypoint we just got. Remember, we just went over there to the boiling lake. We're going to go up. And if you see that there's like a giant like bull-looking thing, you usually can find them. He is another quest monster that can give you a reward. Oh, here he is. Boulder back. This is not required, though. What do they call this quest? Okay. We don't have it yet. Alright, so now we're going to go through the tunnel. And we have a trial of ascendancy inside the tunnel here. Might be this way. Yep. There we go. Somewhere around over here. And if these trials are kind of too hard... Oh, that was pretty dangerous. If these trials become too hard, you can always... For one Chaos Orb, I have one, I have two, you can get this item called Immortal Flesh, and you can just equip it while you're doing these, and you basically have so much regeneration that you can just stand in the traps. It kind of defeats like the gameplay mechanic for it, but
The Emperor must bear 2 blades, hope in the left hand, surety in the right.
we'll just keep on going.
This atlas has
Oh,
extra
okay, we
lines.
got another map, so pick up all the maps. Alright.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Alright, now we're going to the quarry. So we definitely want to get the waypoint over here. This is kind of like the hub area that has many different exits. Alright. So we're going to get the waypoint. We can talk to Sim now, but we need to get these other items to progress. So there's actually a few different... Oh! Enhance. What is this worth? It's like 20 chaos, maybe. And it'll go down in price. Some items, like if I know the item on top of my head, I mean, sometimes things can fluctuate. There could be a streamer that's like, okay, this build needs this one item, then all of a sudden, the next day it quadruples up in price. I'm gonna go ahead and list it right now. We'll see if it sells for like 19. If it doesn't, I can sell it for like 15 real fast. Sometimes the lowest person that's selling something is doing what's called a price fix. Let's see. We'll list it for 19, and then we'll just lower it every time we come back into town. Oh, whoops! This was Boiling Lake. We have the waypoint. Let's go back to the quarry. It looks like the Awakened PoE trade is not set up for the correct league. The things can't be listed 5 months ago because this league just came out like a couple days ago. So yeah, this area over here, the quarry, you definitely want to get the waypoint. There are several areas that we'll need to go to. One of them is locked, though. That's basically the waypoint. There's a side area over here. Oh, I guess we're going to the refinery first. There's multiple areas you can go to. But since we hit the refinery first, we're going to do the refinery. There's another area where there's a boss, and we will kill the boss, and it's going to give us a skill point. Do we still have the calendar now? We turned it in? Or is it a small thing? There's... Okay, we have not turned it in. That's like another quest item. So in the refinery, you're just looking for like a boss area. And this boss will shock you, which will make you take a lot more damage, but it's fine. So this is where the boss is at. This area can be kind of hard because he just shocks you for an insane amount of damage, and it's a very easy thing to rip on. So Just shoot, move. The thing that makes it difficult is eventually this whole area, all those lines will slow you down and shock you, which will make you take a lot more damage. But if you just don't get hit, it's fine too. He was attacking my little ice golem guy. And so if he's fighting that, I can just sit here for free. Until he's gone. There we go. And he's dead. And then we're going to click on this little, like, a little oven. You get the powder. And then you're going to give the powder to Sin. So now we get to go back over here. There's several different areas that we actually need to go to. So from here, we get to Sin right here. There's a bunch of people to talk to. There's 2 respect points and then the bottled storm.
Until next time.
So now what we're going to do is, if we go to the quarry, that's basically where we get to finish off the act. But there was another area that was blocked off. Here, let me move my face out of the way. So this area has something blocked off. There's also a boss that we can kill at the quarry. We're going to go to the quarry. We're going to kill the boss, and we're going to go back and go through the area that had a sandstorm. This one might be on the left here, I'm assuming, since that one's on the right, that the other area is going to be on the left. So this is the area where the boss should be. This boss will give us a skill point once we defeat it. It's a pretty easy boss, though. So how this boss mechanic works, and the name is the Queen of the Winds. You just shoot, kind of move. Again, nothing too special with this, but they do go invisible eventually, and you can wait until they hit you, but she missed. Just don't stand in the tornadoes. I feel like that should be self-explanatory, but going invisible is just like the special thing that this boss does. But you can still kind of see her. It's like the generic PoE, get behind the boss and attack. But sometimes, like, you can't see, there's too much clutter. And when she goes invisible and, like, she's about to, you can activate your Grand Flask if you have one, or a Jade Flask. She just needs to, like, kind of attack, and then it makes it much faster. So, once we get the feather, we are good to go back into town for 2 reasons. One, we're going to
you were too beautiful for this ugly world.
we get to turn in that quest, get an extra skill point, and we're going to go to the other area, which will give us another skill point. Talk to her, and we have room, okay. Okay, bam, we've got 2 more skill points. So we're investing into this. And now our spell suppression is at 99%. So we literally need 1% spell suppression. So if I just type in the word spell suppression, well, there is an additional 10 here, but it requires us to have full life. So that means if we're not full HP, we don't get the spell suppression. So eventually we're going to remove the spell suppress damage as lucky. I mean, 99% plus the, you know, lucky would mean that it rolls twice, and then I shouldn't really worry about it. I think I'm not going to worry about it. 99 is fine, but you can get more spell suppression, I believe, on your boots, your chest piece, and your gloves. So you can max out if you want to. But now we're going to go back to the Vastry Desert. We're going to be defeating the boss. There's a crafting recipe. If you see any crafting recipes, pick them up. They're going to be kind of used later. You don't have to craft in this game if you don't want to. I was kind of hesitant to craft in the very beginning of this game because I was like, well, what if I mess up? And that's part of the game. But I'll teach you the easiest method to craft. There's so many ways to craft in this game. Okay, so we're going to go to the Oasis now. So that's where the thing was blocked off before. But the Oasis will have another boss to defeat. Just grab the shrine that gave us extra resistances. So if you see any of these, this is called Betrayal. It's another mechanic in PoE where if you want to engage with it, you can. I'll kill one of them so you guys kind of see how it works. So if I interrogate, it'll like hold them in an area, and then eventually like you can get items. I completed the quest, but basically you can get these items that have like special, it looks like an alien text on it, and you can unveil the alien text, and you can basically get to choose what stat it rolls. Ideally, you craft and then use a thing where it randomizes 3 extra chances of rolling something. But we are just here to kill this boss, the Scorpion Queen. This is the Queen of the Sands. So you'll attack her for a little bit, and then she'll move away. And you'll see her over here. And you have to slowly walk, because if you walk too fast, she's not going to follow. She goes into these little, like, quicksand little areas. And you can get sunk over here if you hold still, like it'll suck you down. But just as long as she's basically right next to you. You can see she comes up and does a little like attack once in a while. It's a really cool looking boss because on the tail it's a person. Now we go in. You can see people like wanting to buy certain things. Some people need help on bosses. Oh, by the way, this whole boss fight is pretty simple. I probably should have explained it. All you do is you shoot and move, and she'll come and pop out once in a while. But it's, I mean, most of the bosses in this game, if you're playing my build, you will absolutely face roll every single time, unless we're playing melee, which I probably won't ever play melee again until they do some massive buff, which hopefully will be happening maybe next season, because it's well overdue time for like a massive melee buff in this game. So once we kill the boss, we can go talk to the NPCs, and then one of them will give us a skill point. Oh, here we go. Shikari reward, so we're going to grab that. And we got both of those skill points done, and then we got the Trial of Ascendancy done. And then now, our next goal is to basically finish the act. So we're going to go to the quarry. And this act is very, very short. The last 2 acts, yeah, dang, we're like under 20 minutes. But we get this last skill point over here. So we can see what else there is. We can prevent more spell damage, 3% extra spell suppression, so that's kind of nice. Yeah, phasing if you spell suppress damage, which lets us basically run through targets. We get to inflict a cold fire and lightning exposure on enemies when you suppress their spell damage, which means that we get to do some increased damage to them. There's another way to activate exposure. There's going to be another way we can activate it on our gloves, which I think is going to be overall better. But now what I want to do is I want to get all of these like life nodes. These will give us increased life and evasion. It's going to be awesome. And then we're going to get an extra 15 spell suppression. And I'm not sure where else we have spell suppression, but it'll overcap. We'll have over 100. Which is fine. It doesn't give you extra like spell suppression, but the difference between having 99 and having 100, it's worth it. Even if you have to waste like a skill point for that, you know, it's not even getting that 1%. You'll get like 10, but it only gives you 1, right? And the reason why, does anything else have spell suppression? We have 9% here, that's why. It's fine though. We'll be overcapped even without it. But the reason why the difference between 99 and 100 matters is because if you don't get that spell suppression to activate on that chance, then what happens is you may get one-shotted where you wouldn't have gotten one-shotted if you just had that 50% damage reduction. So it is always worth it to get the 100% spell suppression. Some builds will go with block though. There's lots of layers of defenses in this game, but you're generally not going to get block when you use the bow. There's a special item that lets you get block on a bow. Block is just you're not taking any damage, which is fantastic.
Just in time.
But what we're gonna probably shoot for, we can shoot for a chest piece that will have some armor, so we have some damage reduction. There's a few different options that are good. So what we're looking for is just going from the rotting core over to the black core, and we can talk to Sin, and there's going to be 3 portals that open up. And if you remember this guy that we killed before, well, he's not necessarily back, but some of the monsters that we killed are going to be coming back, but in an alternate form. It's almost like the Devil May Cry 2 boss, if you guys have ever played that game. It kind of fuses all the bosses together. So it's a really interesting looking thing. It's not particularly challenging though for this build. Alright, so we're going to fight Dodri again. Now she has a Scream, and if she's activating her Scream, you probably want to pop your potion. It's the only thing that's kind of nasty with her. So she's doing her Scream right now. It looks like we were able to just tank right through it, like no problem at all. That's great. That's the only thing that's kind of nasty with that Dodri. Dark Soul, okay. Now once you kill him, walk back into the portal, and then you're gonna kill 3 bosses. It's kind of like the spirit of the ones we already killed. I really like these arrows coming back. With that, it's a brand new support gem that we're running that just came out this league. So it makes your projectiles return. But it also works with spells, which is really cool. Once again, standing behind him is kind of key, but this guy, he's kind of fast and he teleports away. But you can see, and then he's almost gone already. And we got him. Next area. And last area, Shav. How do I go about leveling gear? You struggle with that always, every season. In Path of Exile, how do I level my gear? You mean like getting upgrades? So, do you ever trade in Path of Exile? That's one tip that like really helps out. Unless you really know what you're doing, there are ways to craft in the game too, like with Danig and, well actually it's Rog, but you can get some of the resources with Danig. But, you can craft with that. You can do fossil crafting. There's lots of different ways that you can craft. Essence crafting with a fractured item. Or not fractured. It's where it has the gold text on it. Yeah, fractured, right? You just get a fractured item, and then you throw an essence, and then you have 2 stats that are really good, and you just keep on rolling those 2 stats until you get what you want. I like that strategy. Alright, but now that after we killed this, we're going to go talk to Sin. He's going to open the Deprived Trinity. Get some more HP. Summon our golem because he died. Let's see if we can activate this. We have 40 resource. That's too low of resource. I don't like playing like that. Because then we can't cast our abilities. So basically this boss has all of the abilities, all 3 of them. But don't stand in the red like circles. Shoot and move. So watch out for that move. That's really about it. You see the books once again. It's basically a Devil May Cry 2 like boss where it's like it combines a bunch of the bosses all into one. It looks pretty crazy. But don't stand in the purple stuff. Stand in the books. That big orb is pretty easy to dodge but it is very large and you only have this small little battle space. And just dash away. This is a pretty fair boss, I would say. There are some bosses where I feel like it's kind of difficult.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Okay, woo! They're all gone. And then You want to talk to him, and then eventually you want to sail to Oreth. Make sure you do not go back to town. If you go back to town, you will have to kill all the bosses again. I did that one time. Alright. So, that was really fast. That was like a 25 minutes to get to the next act. I can talk to Lonnie and all the people. So that's going to wrap up. That was a really fast run over there. We didn't even get any Chaos Orbs. And we still have all good resistances. Yeah, all of our resistances minus cold. I mean, cold is 72 out of 75. So I'm just going to complete the last act. I don't think we really need to get any upgrades before the last act. I think we are A-okay. And then next time, yeah, we're going to be doing the boss. And then we're going to do the end game content, which is something I'm super excited to share with you guys. But that's going to go ahead and wrap up Act 9, Part 9. Drop a like and wow. I'll see you guys in Part 10, which will be the final act of the campaign. And then we have the end game to go over, which is going to be awesome.